what I'm going to do is take a sample from the heads and the tails. I've got them all labeled up here from start. Start top left, end bottom right. Now the first one was just pure heads, so I've already passed that one up. And now we're going to check the next one down. And I'm just taking a little bit from here and a little bit of water. I haven't checked the proof yet. I'm just going to get a little taste test, see how things are going. Pretty good grape flavor. No acetone. I did leave these sit out open to the air for about 4 days, 5 days. Just getting around to blending it. So that really doesn't taste too headsy. And I don't know if it's from letting it sit open to the air and letting those fusel oils evaporate, but I think that has a little bit to do with it. So what I'm going to do is, we're at about 45 degrees here. Take the next jar. Let's see what proof we're at. So we're sitting at 160, and it says to add 3 when you're below 60 degrees. So about 163 in the third jar. That actually smells really good. Really like the wine that I distilled, the rosé. I'm going to go ahead and jump to one of the last jars, our cuts jars, and see where we're at, so I can kind of gauge the proof in the hearts. Distilling this came out really clear all the way through, even into the tails. That's the tails. Pretty darn clear for tasting like wet cardboard. Smells really fruity. Little tailsy, not bad. Got a lot of flavor. We'll go ahead and check this guy here. Let's see where we're at for proof. A nice little floater in it. Gonna have to filter it. Yeah, still 160. So even down into where I believe the hearts to be, we're still at 160. Go ahead and pour that back in there. Check one of these ones that was closer to the tails, just to see if we dropped off drastically. Yep, down on the tails we're at about 118. That's a pretty good indicator that we're into the tails on a 1.5 run. So I won't need to use this Proof and Trail hydrometer anymore until I actually make my blend. Right now I'm going to go through and test the flavors and see where we're at and see what I want to add throughout these cuts. And I'll skip around a little bit just to get kind of, I'm just trying to gauge what I'm going to keep and what I'm not to make the final blend. That one tastes a little acetone-y. Doesn't smell acetone. Acetone, not a word. Acetone. Kind of prickly on the tongue. Maybe astringent is the word, but not horrible. Pull each glass out so I'm not doing the same one twice. That's where the acetone flavor falls off. A little prickly on the tongue, but not bad. We'll go ahead and start there. And I'm just blending them in a big jar. And since I know that that's where I wanted to start, I'm going to go ahead and keep adding, and then I'll check the tails as I get closer again. These are all hearts with a little bit of heads in the front for a little bit of bite. Man, that smells like ambrosia. It's toasted marshmallows. Okay, we're getting close to the tails now, so I'm gonna give another taste. Man, that smells delicious. You really smell the grapes You smell almost smell the yeast that they use to ferment. The rosé. That's pretty good. We're gonna go with that one. As we get closer to the tails, I'm gonna give them a little bit more. To check to make sure I'm not getting any flavors I don't want in there. Man, that's beautiful. Oh yeah. Now I'm just taking little sips of these. I'm not trying to chug-a-lug the whole thing. Kind of trying to get it done before my tongue goes flat and I can't taste anything. Getting closer to the tails, you're going down in proof, and so I don't need to add as much water. Still very floral, very, very good smell. No wet dog yet. Flavor's a little neutral, but very clean. No hints of tails yet. I am going to keep some of this high proof to age on French oak. The French oak came from wine barrels of Grigio, I believe. That's starting to taste a little tailsy, but there's a lot of flavor there still. And I think that the neutral will offset it. Not really any tails. Definitely a little more punch of flavor from the last jar that I put in. Not too peculiar. I'm gonna go ahead and add it. Now this is where I think that we might start getting into the tails a bit, but from what I've researched, flavor in fruits and brandies sometimes have some sometimes they're hidden in the tails. Doesn't smell too tailsy. Still a lot of fruit. Picking up the grape. Even a little cherry, but really that ambrosia flavor and some marshmallow. I'll go ahead and throw that one in there too. It's not disappointing. Now, here's my last 2 jars, and I switched over the cuts when I can tell I was getting into the tails. It was so clear running a finished product that who knows what the process they went through when they made the wine to clear it, filter it, what kind of additives were put in to clear it. Really did kind of have an effect on the distillation and the final spirit. Oh yeah, that smells like wet dog. I don't think I want to add any of that. If I do, it'll just be maybe half for some flavor, but I'm pulling some wet dog in the smell. Let's see how it tastes. I think I added too much water. Let's just try it straight. Smells pretty tailsy just straight. But I'm picking up some That's peculiar. Not bad. Peculiar. Tell you what I'm going to do is add about half of that. And we're not going to use that at all. That's going to go in a faints jar. And so is that. Oop. That didn't work. Now, let's go back and check these heads, how far we actually are. See if we can't get lucky. Gonna use a little more water because that's pretty high powered. I smell a lot of fruit. I don't smell any acetone. It does taste acetone. And there's that word again. I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to put any more of that, any of these cuts into my final blend. As you can see, this is a 2.5 gallon pot, stainless steel, and we're going to filter it. I'm going to leave some high proof, and then I'm going to proof down the rest, and add some distilled water. I'm going to put some on oak, and I'm going to do some other stuff. So wait and see. Hide and watch. Later, y'all.